Most people think luxury features mean comfort. In my shop, they usually mean angry customers and four-figure repair bills. In the past year alone, I've watched Ford owners spend $3,000 on frozen touchscreens, $5,000 on jammed panoramic roofs, and thousands more recalibrating sensors that failed for no clear reason. And here's what dealers don't tell you. Some of the so-called luxury features Ford sells aren't upgrades at all. They're financial traps. If you're driving one right now, there's a good chance one of them is already setting you up for a big bill. Today, I'm breaking down 9 Ford luxury features that waste your money and make your life harder. By the end, you'll know exactly which ones to avoid before they cost you. Number 9, My Ford Touch and Sync infotainment systems. Let me tell you straight, when Ford rolled out My Ford Touch and its Sync infotainment cousins on trucks and cars like the F-150, Explorer, Edge, Fusion, Focus, and even on Lincolns, it was supposed to be this slick, luxury tech upgrade with voice control, navigation, Bluetooth, touchscreen, everything. But after 20 years turning wrenches on these things, I can tell you what most dealers won't. This feature is often one of the biggest headaches you'll ever pay extra for. It's trash, not treasure. Fact is, the system was rushed out with software and hardware that just wasn't ready. Internally, even Ford engineers openly slammed early My Ford Touch as a problem. One Ford executive called it a polished turd in internal company discussions, and lawsuits claimed half of the vehicles equipped with it had issues tied to software bugs and poor architecture. On Ford trucks and cars from about 2011 through 2015, I've had customers come in and complain about failures that go way beyond annoying. Screens freeze mid-trip, voice commands stop responding, navigation crashes, Bluetooth drops calls randomly, and sometimes the whole unit just reboots while you're driving. There's no rhyme or reason for when it fails. One minute it's fine, next it's blacked out and you're staring at audio off with no touch response at all. Mechanically, here's what's trash about it. The APIM, which is the model that runs the Sync and My Ford Touch interface, Bluetooth, USB, nav, camera, voice, and everything else, was built on software and limited storage that couldn't cope with real-world use. That's why you see random resets, menus that won't load, lost radio presets, phones that won't connect, or voice systems that make Siri look competent. Even basic functions like backup camera feeds will blank or freeze. And before you say just update it, that's another problem. Early versions of My Ford Touch require dealer installs or tricky USB updates, and sometimes after an update you still end up doing hard resets just to get the thing to boot again. There are ways to limp through it. Master resets do help temporarily, and in a pinch you can disconnect power and reboot the system. But a real fix? You have to spend thousands to replace expensive modules or ditch the whole unit for an aftermarket head unit. This is in the same price range as the next luxury trash feature I've discovered on Fords, but this one might not be a surprise. Number 8, expensive panoramic moonroofs and twin panel roofs. The panoramic moonroof and twin panel roof is what Ford loves to stick on F-150s, Expeditions, Edges, Explorers, and other high-end trims. On paper, it sounds slick, with a big glass overhead, open sky, and a luxury vibe. In practice, it's one of the biggest headache options you can put on a Ford. I've seen more of these come through the shop with problems than working flawlessly. And the worst part? They cost stupid money to fix and hardly ever break in ways a normal person can DIY. First off, these massive roofs use tons of moving parts like plastic tracks, sliders, motors, and seals, all jammed up into thin pieces of glass stretching across the cab. But those plastic bits are weak. I've had F-150 owners complain about popping noises, broken brackets, and roofs that stop opening after the warranty expires. Some owners literally gave up and never opened theirs again because it refused to open. If you go to a dealer, they might just shrug and tell you it's out of warranty, even if it showed signs of failure before you hit the mileage cutoff. When the roof starts leaking, water can soak your headliner, carpet, and leave rust spots on the roof corners, like I've seen with owners of the 2017 Ford S-Max and other Ford models. They've complained about water in their boot lining and rust starting around the glass edge. Worst of all is the repair cost. A Ford dealer quote for a winched up or jammed panoramic roof on a truck can run near $5,000 if you count parts and labor. To fix the motors and seals, you might spend around $3,000 to fix it. What was meant to be a premium luxury might end up as a $1,000 gamble. There are some DIY fixes you can go for. You can lube the tracks with proper grease, like Krytox, and regularly venting before opening reduces stiction. But these can only help if you maintain the roof instead of fixing it. Real talk? If you're ordering a Ford and they force the panoramic roof on a trim you want, think twice. It's cool if it works, but most of the time it ends up being a money pit. But a luxurious Ford isn't complete without premium audio and navigation features, and this doesn't always turn out the way you want. Number 7. Premium audio and navigation package glitches. When Ford sells you a premium audio and navigation package on trucks and SUVs like the F-150, Explorer, Edge, Escape, and Mustangs with B&O systems, it's supposed to be this top-tier luxury experience. You're meant to have big speakers, booming sound, and built-in navigation guiding you down every highway. In reality, most of this tech behaves like a glitchy aftermarket pirate radio that had a bad night, and is expensive to fix. I see these every week in the shop. The navigation will just vanish mid-trip, revert to the home screen, or shuffle menus instead of giving you directions. Some owners tell me they ended up using Google Maps on their phones because the factory nav is unreliable. Worse, some Ford owners have revealed that their Sync 3 navigation malfunctions so badly it can kill SOS emergency messages or stop working altogether a few minutes into a journey. And the audio. Premium speakers and amplifiers are supposed to deliver crisp sound, but many Ford drivers have to deal with the Bluetooth dropping out, audio lagging or defaulting to weird settings, and weird volume behavior. Those with B&O systems on their new Explorers and Mach-E crossovers have reported that their audio sounds terrible after a software update, with music sounding compressed and navigation prompts coming through like a busted PA system. Dealers might tell you to fiddle with the settings, check cables, or reset the system, but half of the time that doesn't fix it. In many cases, the APIM brain box or touchscreen needs replacing, and that's where it gets expensive. Dealerships charge $300 to $700 just to replace a touchscreen, and navigation repair costs $200 to $500 or more if it's tied up in module issues. Number 6. Luxury seating. Another trash luxury feature you might not even think about is the luxury seating box that comes optional on the Ford F-150, Explorer, Edge, Expedition, Lincoln Navigator, or Nautilus. You might expect comfort that matches the price tag. Heated seats will warm up fast, ventilated seats can cool you down, and the power adjustments will remember your exact settings. These sound good, but in reality, a big chunk of these so-called luxury seats are notorious for acting like half-baked options that cost money and don't last. Front and center are the heated and ventilated seats. These are supposed to be premium, yet many Ford owners have come into the shop because they fail too often. Sometimes the lights come on and nothing happens. Other times, only one side of the seat actually heats or cools, or the blower fan gets so loud it sounds like a hairdryer under your rear end. On the Ford Edge, F-250, F-150, or even the Lincoln models, many Ford owners have said that the heated function just cuts off, or the ventilated mode barely moves air, even if the system claims it's working. It gets worse when you start digging into repairs. These systems involve wiring, heaters, blowers, and control modules tucked deep inside the seat. It's not something the average person can fix with a screwdriver and socket set. Dealers usually charge hundreds of dollars to diagnose, then another $400 to $800 to replace a heating element, and then more if the seat's memory or control module needs replacing. You can DIY check fuses or loose connectors, but most of the ugly stuff, like the burnt wiring harnesses and faulty internal modules, are out of your driveway scope. And don't get me started on the leather quality. On trucks like the F-150 Lariat and above, Ford uses a lower-grade leather blend that cracks and peels long before the truck hits 100,000 miles, especially in hot climates. Ford owners end up paying $300 to $1,500 per seat just to reupholster and replace the covers. This might make you wonder whether it was worth getting the seat in the first place. But here's the kicker. This isn't an isolated case. In fact, it's common on many Fords, just like the power tailgate, which also has problems despite being a luxury feature. Number 5. Power tailgate or auto liftgate. Power tailgate and auto liftgates on Fords like the F-150, Explorer, Edge, Escape, Flex, and even the Kuga stylized liftgates on other models sounded like a genius luxury feature when you tick that box. One button, or a foot wave, and boom, cargo access without even using your hands. The truth is, they are more trouble than they're worth. These systems use motors, actuators, sensors, control modules, and wiring bundled up in the tight tailgate package, and the result is a feature that breaks, glitches, or just refuses to work. Take how it behaves on F-150s. Ford owners have come into the shop because the button won't open the gate, but the remote does, or vice versa. Most of the time, the dealership can't pin it down to a consistent fault code and suggests replacing switches, actuators, or even the entire liftgate assembly. And that's often $800 to $1,100 plus labor once you're out of warranty. One F-150 owner in the shop literally said they would rather open and close it by hand than pay that bill. On Explorers and Escapes, it's common to have this intermittent behavior where the dash button flashes, hazards blink, but nothing moves. Sometimes a simple reset or cleaning the latch sensors gives it one good day, but it's not a reliable fix. And don't get me started on the hands-free foot kick sensors. It's cool until it fails to trigger when you actually need it. I had a Ford Edge owner who noticed that his hands-free sensor was so sensitive it activated when people were walking nearby. But the option to disable it isn't always straightforward or available. If you're finding this helpful, hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. Number 4. Advanced Driver Assistance Tech. If you want your Ford to be more luxurious, you might have ticked the box for Advanced Driver Assistance Tech, or Ford Copilot 360. But these can cause random warnings and system failures. Some other features include Blue Cruise, Lane Keep Assist, Adaptive Cruise Control, Blind Spot Monitoring, and pre-collision alerts on the Ford F-150, Explorer, Edge, Escape, Maverick, Bronco, or some Lincoln models. The tech relies on cameras, radar, and control modules to assist your driving, but on real roads it gets confused more often than not. Lane keeping systems will turn themselves on or off without warning, vehicles like the Edge and the Nautilus, steering too much or not at all, and sometimes won't disengage when you tell it to. Many Ford owners come into the shop still trying to turn it off. Adaptive cruise and hands-free features like Blue Cruise can be even worse. Owners of 2025 F-150s and Mavericks have described cruise control shutting off mid-drive, random warnings for pre-collision, or lane assistance disappearing and returning, or the truck just deciding to drop out of the system with no rhyme or reason. That's exactly what one 2025 Maverick Lariat owner experienced on a long highway trip. The cruise and lane centering dropped out repeatedly, forcing them to stay ready to brake manually. And these aren't cheap fixes. When the front camera, blind spot sensor, or IPMA module goes bad, you're looking at $800 to $2,000 or more in parts and dealer labor, because these sensors and modules are expensive and require calibration. Dealers sometimes can't even fix the issue after replacing modules. ADAS is supposed to be safety-oriented tech that should be making driving easier. Instead, on many Fords, it's unreliable, annoying, costly to repair, and often less reliable than a skilled driver with eyes on the road. For all the money you pay for it, you'd better still be driving the truck and not letting the truck drive you. This luxury feature is worrying, but the number 3 feature is one that's more like a glitchy, expensive trap. Number 3, EcoBoost Turbo and Powertrain. Let's not sugarcoat it. Ford's EcoBoost engines look awesome on paper. Turbocharged power in a mid-sized truck or SUV? Yes, please. But after 2 decades turning wrenches on F-150s, Explorers, Edges, Mavericks, Broncos, and more, with 2.0, 2.3, 2.7, and especially the 3.5 EcoBoost under the hood, let me tell you that the shine wears off. The turbo tech and powertrain often cost you big money and big headaches. These engines depend on high-pressure turbos, direct injection, and tight tolerances, and they don't forgive neglect or abuse the way old-school V8s did. Take the 3.5 EcoBoost V6. When it works cleanly, It's got great low-end torque and towing power, but I've had to deal with turbocharger failures, coolant leaks, and carbon buildup on intake in the shop. These starve performance and lead to misfires and rough idling. That carbon chokes airflow and costs real cash to fix, whether you walnut blast the intake or replace parts at the dealer. And don't ignore the timing chain and water pump drama you might have heard about in the shop. The timing chain stretches or rattles, and the internal water pump can fail, requiring $2,000 to $4,000 in labor because it takes so much work to get at it. Even the smaller 2.0 and 2.3 EcoBoost engines aren't immune. They often deal with failed boost control solenoids, cracked exhaust manifolds, and worn-out turbo bearings if you push them hard or skimp on oil changes. Repairing or replacing a turbo on these can run $1,500 to $3,000 just for the unit, plus labor. I've seen top-end F-150 3.5 EcoBoost engines come in with creeping oil leaks at the valve cover that cost $1,400 to fix on both sides. And that was just the gasket, not the core engine. Is the EcoBoost capable of strong power? Absolutely. But on many Ford models, it's a complex, high-stress power chain that can attract a lot of trouble. Number 2. Power seats with lumbar control and memory settings. Many Ford owners were excited about the power seats with lumbar support and memory settings on Ford F-150s, Explorers, Edges, Escapes, Expeditions, and even on Lincolns. These are supposed to be a premium comfort feature that remembers how you like your seat, supports your back, and automatically adjusts every time you climb in. But this might become an electrical nightmare that costs big money to fix. I've had customers complain to me that the seat moves only with memory settings, but none of the actual switches work, like forward, back, up, down, lumbar support. You might have to test fuses, swap switches, check voltage, and even with that, the problem will be hidden inside the seat harness or the memory module under the seat. Some newer F-150 Platinum owners complain that their seating forgets lumbar settings every time they shut off the truck and goes back to default when they step into the car again. These systems tie into the seat monitors and a memory control module under the seat. That module keeps track of positions and commands the motors, and when it glitches, you either get no movement or random settings. Fixing it isn't as simple as spraying contact cleaner. You might have to spend $800 to $1,500 or more to replace a memory seat assembly or module, and that doesn't include programming the new module back to your truck's network. You're good with your hands? You can check fuses, inspect harnesses under the seat, and reseat connectors. This might bring your seat back to life, but when the memory module fails, you end up with expensive parts and dealer time. Number 1. Ambient lighting. And finally, we have ambient lighting in Fords like the F-150, Explorer, Edge, Escape, Focus Titanium, Maverick Lariat, and even some Lincoln trims. It sounds cool on the window sticker as it promises soft LED glow in the footwells, door handles, cup holders, and consoles to make your cabin feel premium. But most of the time, this luxury feature ends up being annoying at best and completely unreliable at worst. The first problem I've seen is the lights just won't stay on. Multiple F-150 owners have come into the shop saying they turned the ambient lighting on, enjoyed it for a night, and then next start, it's turned off in the sync settings with no input from the driver. You set it, you come back later, and it's dead again. On Explorers and other modules, updates to the sync system have changed how the ambient lights behave. Owners have had lighting shut down in some zones completely, even though the settings say the lights are still on. Master resets, battery disconnects, and software resets help sometimes, but it's hit or miss. And there's the consistency issue. Some 2025 Broncos that do have ambient lighting will flip between colors or brightnesses each time the truck is started. It can be red one day, and ice blue the next. This all comes down to a software design and module wiring. These lights are controlled through the body control module and sync settings. And when either one gets confused, the lighting is the first thing to do weird things. To fix this, you might have to reprogram or update modules. And combining this with labor and diagnostics, you spend hundreds of dollars on repairs alone. So when you're picking luxury features for your Ford, just remember that less is sometimes better than more. Which of these features surprised you the most? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. If you want more real advice for Ford owners, make sure to subscribe and check out my next video, where I share the insane Ford carb trick that turned boring V8s into monsters.